And we're off and running. A good Thursday, everybody, here at Gulfstream Park. From the gate on Gulfstream today, look who it is, Pete Aiello. Track announcer here at Gulfstream Park. Jason Blute alongside. Hope you're doing okay out there. Delighted to have you with us here at Gulfstream Park and kind of a case. And I'm happy you're here, and I'm sure everybody out there is as well. Everybody's gone. It's just you and me.
Well, there's more excitement leading up to today's show than WrestleMania 3 in the Pontiac Silverdome. As Gorilla Monsoon would say, the irresistible force meets the immovable object.
No kidding. And the main event that year was Hogan versus Andre?
Indeed.
All right. The good old WWF days. I always loved Bobby the Brain Heenan. Now, as far as what's going on Saturday, I mean, you talk about big things. Well, we got Preakness 142, my friend. 10 entered yesterday, and your Derby winner, Always Dreaming, got post number 4 for Pletcher and Johnny. And
yeah, South Florida favorite. Very well represented. The Florida Derby and Kentucky Derby winner, Always Dreaming, and Gunnevera from the Bard of Antonio Sano goes to the veteran reinsman Mike Smith and draws post number 6. According to the morning line, it's a 2-horse contest. I'm not sure I'm inclined to agree with that, but
all right,
let's see how it goes.
What's your early opinion, man? You got your eye on any prices?
Not necessarily to win the race, but I think Always Dreaming. I've been on his bandwagon since he broke his maiden, so no sense fixing something that's not broken. But the outside horse in that race, Conquest Mo Money, he is a scrappy individual, and if he does go off at or above the morning line, I'll be inclined for a little 410 exacta.
All right, I like it. Tough New York bred by Uncle Mo. He's been a neat story, based in New Mexico after being purchased privately. And of course, Skip the Kentucky Derby is dropping out of a very good second place finish in the Arkansas Derby a few weeks ago. So Preakness 142, race number 13 on a 14 race card Saturday at Pimlico. We want you out here at Gulfstream Park. It's a Preakness party. Nothing like spending one of these Triple Crown events with fellow horse players and racing fans. We've got you covered right here at beautiful Gulfstream Park. A first race post of 1 p.m. We run 11 on Saturday, May 20th as we settle in and look to the Florida Derby and Derby champion, Always Dreaming, in leg number 2 of the Triple Crown. And these guarantees and the multi-race wagers ending with Preakness 142 are pretty sweet.
Yeah, they are indeed, and you have advanced wagering opportunities. If you can't make it on Saturday or you're worried about changing your mind, you can play Friday for the Saturday races as well as the Black Eyed Susan Preakness Daily Double. The 2-day wager will be offered right here in South Florida.
And don't forget, Saturday here, you buy a program on track or you pick up a daily racing form, you will get a free Gulfstream Preakness t-shirt. Pretty good deal there. We will see you out here, in fact, all weekend long at Gulfstream Park. Now, as far as Beat the Expert, our weekly Friday contest over at Facebook.com, and you should follow us at Gulfstream Park on the Facebook page and, of course, Twitter. Give Pete a follow on Twitter as well. I'm up next. The pressure's on. I got to tell you, Pete, and being candid and honest like I always am, sitting next to Acacia Ron the last couple of Fridays, I've been at Gulfstream Park for the Beat the Expert contest. The quote-unquote experts, and I'll use the word loosely, are 0 for 2.
Well, I'm also very candid. That's one of the greatest photos I've ever seen in my entire life.
I appreciate that. I did a few different poses. Nice job from the boys up in the control room picking out that one. Pressure's on. Beat the Expert. We'll see you out here Friday as well. And again, Facebook, Twitter, Gulfstream Park is everywhere on the interwebs. Give us a follow. Now let's turn our attention, my friend. Multi-race wagers on the program today. We've got a few different solid carryovers in the mix. That does not include, of course, the early pick 5, which gets underway in race number 1. Now, fast forwarding, speaking of carryovers, well, that pool in the Rainbow Six seems to be growing by the day. We have not had a single winner in quite some time, just under $250,000. Race number 4, the starting point, a little dollar super high 5, my friend. How does race 5 sound with that?
I don't know about all that. Race 5 actually is a race that I like, a price horse. It's one of the few races today where I have a strong opinion. So you have 26.68 to get involved in the Super High 5, first Super High 5 opportunity, as you say, race 5, which also begins the 50-cent late pick 5.
It's a real crossroads, a real grab bag in that 5th race. I've got my eye. In fact, my best bet on GulfstreamPark.com is in the 5th race as well. So more on that in a few moments. Let's dive into the card. I know.
We're taking the gloves off already.
But guess guess who has the shorter price of the two horses that you and I like? We'll give everybody that's followed me in New York over the years, you get one guess who's got the shorter price of the two horses we like in race number 5. Little teaser for you. Let's get on to the first, my friend, and you're opening pick 5 on the card.
Yeah, we start the Thursday program on the turf at 1 mile. These are maidens of the special weight variety. Florida breds. Key scratch here of number 2, Matthews Ridge, who was a first-time starter that, in my view, looked to have a chance. The bettors are going to hone in on the same 3 that the money is showing up for now, the 1, 4, and 5. Michelle Nihe has not only the 1, Katie's Cooper, but the 5, Rulership. I went with the 5, even though jock allegiance-wise, the 1 is the liver of those 2 runners. Panici rides all the live horses for Nihe, but I didn't see anything to lean me in the direction of Katie's Cooper. My top plays in the race are both the 4, I'm the Candyman, under Eddie Nunez, second-time starter, making a big move last time out after being wide, and then a first-time starter that has all kinds of intrigue. We'll talk about seconds over Tokyo, variety of different reasons I'm intrigued by that horse. Second race of the program, maidens at 6 furlongs. It's nothing but 5-7 in my view. Pure Cotton will take money, and the outside horse in my sight, first-time starter, bred to be all right. Third race of the afternoon, not quite as easy, but for budget purposes, I had to go too deep. I'll use the inside and outside. Glotanasa under Jaramillo for Duco, and then Kathleen O'Connell and Eddie Nunez coming off the grass with number 6, Miss KOC. Fourth race of the afternoon, I'd like to go deeper, but again, budget restrictions. I'll use the 2, Amazing Bell, bred to be pretty good. The 4, Blonde Bomber gets in on my ticket after the scratch of the 1, Helen Rose. I'll also use the 5, Diamonds Are Trump, Nix, and Gaffleone, 3 deep there. And then in the 5th race, I'm not sure who your top play is. I'm looking over your shoulder, but I like the 7 horse, The Long Walk, quite a bit at a nice price. Number 4, Tigger Town is a horse that has to be included. That race, I am confident, is a 2-horse race.
Easy as that, my friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 36 bucks. Approximate post 115 for the opener. We'll start that early pick 5. Now, backtracking to race number 1, and you gave a brief overview there. We've got a field of 5.
Is this the way it's going to go all day? We get the same top 3 in the same order?
No, I hope not. I didn't look at your picks. They were sent to me, but that I'm a man of great honor.
I was going to
like
say,
cheating on a test.
Well, we build this program up that we're going to have controversy, and controversy creates cash, and then there's no controversy.
Ice cold try to start it out, man. I'm the Candyman. I think short field, again, there's some guesswork regarding, the first or seconds over Tokyo and the 5 Rulership. In a sort of a compact field on the turf, I think I'm the Candyman. Second time out will improve and maybe just control beneath Eddie Nunez.
Yeah, I think so too. The winner of that race, Troy, was supposed to win, and he did it the way he was supposed to do it. I'm the Candyman was a bit keen and tugged outside going into that first turn run. Enough of a reason to think that this horse will improve from start 1 to start 2. I'm on the same horse.
And you've got the great milers. And I rarely throw the word great around at the racetrack, but between Loire de Zanamo and having Lure on the dam side, the 3 seconds over Tokyo is bred to be okay.
Absolutely, and it's intriguing to me, the owner of this horse, I'm not sure if it's the same thing, but I don't care. Randy Melton was a jockey. She rode quite a bit down here in South Florida over the years. I would be intrigued to see if this horse is not that owned by the same Randy Melton. Freddie Mata comes in for the riding assignment. I have no jock change there, so he must be coming to town. Last week of the Tampa Bay Downs meeting, he heated up. He won 3 races in Oldsmar. He has a resume. He's been around a long time. I'm not afraid of the jockey. I'm not afraid of the Ocala Invader. It's Mark Cassie with a good breeding at a nice price. Sign me up.
All right, fair enough. That's the first on the program, my friend. We'll get on to race number 2. Main track action for the second, and that is the situation for the next 4 races. They're on the dirt here, and all main track early pick 4 at Gulfstream Park on this Thursday. Field of 6, 3 and up, $35,000 to $25,000 maiden claimers. You and I, we disagree here. The 5 Pure Cotton for me. Somewhat of a reluctant short price pick, but I got to take a horse that's going to be forwardly placed, just dropping down because he's never run for a tag.
Yeah, he hasn't. However, the race that he ran well 2 starts ago when he came off the extended vacation, he was 3-2 and second behind the odds-on winner that day, Time Will Tell. I'm sorry, but I'm not a Time Will Tell fan. I never have been. I never will be. So for me, that was enough of a chink in the armor to try to beat him at a short price. I used him in my multi-legs. I'm not going to get beat in that regard. But for a win end, I'll try the first-time starter, the fresh face out wide, number 7 in my sight. Yes, I know he was sold for $125,000 and comes back for $35,000. I realize that. However, he's working pretty well, and as you said, there's not a ton of dedicated speed in here. The 1 blind ruckus is fake speed, in my opinion, and the 5 is not fast enough if the 7 has any early lick to beat him to the punch. I'll take the Son a trap shot first time out with an outside gate.
All right, fair enough. 4-year-old, a belated debut, we'll see. And you brought up the 1 blind ruckus, who's likely going to take some play off his recent turf races. But the fact is, he's 0 for a baker's dozen, not for me on the win end.
Yeah, Pure Cotton's the horse to beat. I'm trying to do just that.
All right, on to race number 3. Maidens coming up in races 3 and 4 today. We break out the fillies and mares running for claiming prices of 35 down to 25,000, 3/4 of a mile, 6 furlongs on the main track. I got a kick out of in this field of 6, and this has no bearing on who we like or what may happen about a 1/16 of a mile from where we're sitting. You've got 3 in here by exclusive quality, and the other 2 sires, Cool Coleman and Birdstone, were exclusively Nick Zito during their racing careers.
Yeah, there's an interesting side note for sure.
know?
Yeah, I mean, you have to make intrigue somewhere.
I like stuff. I like nuggets like that.
Well, this is a tricky race. I mean, I think we both settled on the same horse, probably for a lot of the same reasons. The Oldsmar Invader, Miss KOC. I'm intrigued by the name there, KOC. It's also KOC as in Kathleen O'Connell. I have a feeling there is a connection there, being that she is the trainer of this horse. This horse debuted at Tampa, ran okay on the grass with a little bit of trouble in the rock and roll.
Let's look at that race, by the way.
Oh,
Absolutely.
good. Glad we got to see it.
Let's roll it, because turf race aside, and it's only a 5/8 sprint, and this horse actually is the number 2. Kind of got a half-committed ride that day, sent up, and then just wasn't quick enough to hold her position. And it was a case from this point on, once the 6 clears over, where this firster on the day by exclusive quality was basically just steadied along down inside because didn't get the full commitment to go on.
Yeah, it looked a bit green when she shifted her lead going around the far turn in that race. And this is just enough. There's enough trouble there, and there's enough early speed shown in that race with an outside gate here today for me to go in that corner. I know she'll take money, but that's fine if she wins.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, Turf to Dirt second out, 0 for 10 on the trainer, who does a great job, by the way. I mean, Kathleen O'Connell, certainly a long time and a mainstay here in South Florida. Her numbers going, second-time starters, special weight to maiden claiming, just 4 for 24 for 17%. But off that, with the speed and that trip where she just never was able to get in a comfortable groove, I'll take her in a race where there's some guesswork, because you do have a couple of firsters. There's 2 firsters in the race, 1 by Birdstone, 1 by exclusive quality, and the others that have run just haven't done all that much running.
Yeah, that's true. And I went with the firster you used third, the 1 Glotonasa. She's out of a damn Glotona who ran here in South Florida throughout the years for trainer Louis Duco, so it's kind of a homebred situation there. He bred, owns, and trains her. Misael Jaramillo with the riding assignment. Glotonasa was in last weekend, scratched. Like to see him come back against this field and get Jaramillo in the irons. When Jaramillo's drawn the rail on a first-time starter, speed is probably the weapon of choice.
And I've been impressed with him. Again, I've been at Gulfstream for a total of about 5 minutes, but he's riding well. Clearly one of the top dogs in this colony. You want to add any other things in race number 3?
Not really. The 3, More Than a Book, is a horse that you might want to consider using if you're playing exotics, tries, and supers. Came out of a pretty good race at Tampa and didn't run as bad as it looks on paper.
All right, let's get Kathleen O'Connell home, who's very live in races 1 and 3 today. As we turn the page, it is Rainbow Pick 6 time as we come up on the 4th. Carryover of just under $250,000. We'll talk about the ticket, who we like, 2-year-olds, and a firster by Fort Larned, my friend, after this quick timeout.
At ExpressBet, we celebrate the champions that make horse racing great. That's why we provide more ways to bet from more places than ever. We've built an entire family of brands to give players more of the rewards they deserve, give bettors the information they need to win, and provide a community for horse bettors. Because the best way to support the champions of horse racing is to champion horse racing. ExpressBet, we are racing.
hearty welcome back on this Thursday edition of Gulfstream Today. Pete and Jason joining you right outside the walking ring, and it's lunchtime over in the village. Nice crowd over there. Food smells good, and we'll get on to race number 4, my friend. We hope good is not even a fitting word for today's Rainbow Six takedown. I'll put in a ticket, try to get lucky. Fairly budget-minded play of $14.40. I thought, and this might be a case of famous last words, I thought the second half of this card today at Gulfstream was fairly manageable on paper. Now, there is some guessing involved here, and tough, let's be honest, to put in a play or even a ticket prior to seeing the board in this 4th race, because you are dealing with a group of 2-year-old fillies, a field of 6. You've got 5 firsters in the race. Ralph Nick sends out a couple in here, Pete, including Diamonds Are Trump, the firster who gets Tyler G, and the number 6 Pantyhose, who ran okay behind an upset 14-1 winner in her debut, and Di Maria, a race we'll go back and look at on April 19th.
Yeah, I believe if I'm thinking correctly, I'll know once I see the replay. Yes. This is the very first 2-year-old race of the season that we ran at South Florida, so was actually a bit of a surprise to see Javier Negrete get the victory in that race. However, after that race, I found out that his horses have actually were working well going into that race. So the horse did lose to a 14-1 upsetter, but in the end, it was a horse that was well regarded on the backside.
Fair enough. Horses dropping out of this opening baby race of the season at Gulfstream Park, again on April 19th, are 0 for 2. They both came back and ran for $50,000 maiden claiming tags. Neither one of them won. And for me, even though Pantyhose ran well, kind of just picking up the pieces and finishing second best, a slightly above average firster will beat her today. And my guess was with the 5, Diamonds Are Trump. This Jacks Are Better farm has been a real prolific breeder and racing operation in Florida for many, many years. And I would say they are very proficient in breeding to win early and breeding for precocity. And I'm hoping wherever Tyler Gaffleone goes is where my opinion might just be the right one. I'm going to take the 5, Diamonds Are Trump.
Well, to quote the great movie Major League, he's not the best color man in the league for nothing, folks. I have nothing to add to that.
All right, fair enough, my friend. Number 2, Amazing Bell for you. Well, Midnight Loot filly debuting for Marcassi.
It's the bottom side of this horse that sold me on her, Queenie Bell. I used to love Queenie Bell. She was a very, very effective sprinter in Southern California for a lot of years. There's some things I don't like. I don't like that she now has the inside gate with the scratch of Helen Rose. I don't like that I'm asking Panici to win going 4.5 on a 2-year-old, but I do like the breeding, I do like the connections, and I do like the work pattern. I think Amazing Bell has a shot, and I'm hoping, and this is just hope, you can hope against hope. I'm hoping that the 3-horse Quick Lucky Coco is not quick away from there, which will give Amazing Bell some room to work with early.
Perhaps that's the case. And by the way, 2 grays in the race, including the 3 Quick Lucky Coco. You've also got a gray filly by Fort Larned. This is the first foal by Fort Larned to show up in the starting gate. I kind of forgot the job Ian Wilkes did with him, and when he was on his game, just what a powerhouse he was.
Yeah, he really was, but not going 4.5 in the middle of May. But at the same time, the Arundel horses have also not impressed. We know that the Arundel horses and trainer Stanley Gold are better than they've shown in the 2-year-old races so far. So will Blonde Bomber be the breakout bomber? That's possible.
All right, we'll see. We'll see how they bet the race. It's the 4th, the opening leg of today's big Rainbow Pick 6. 5th on the card, 3 and up, 12-5 claimers, 7 ready to go to the post as we finish off the pick 5 and early pick 4 at 6 furlongs. You can take out the Juan Rodriguez trained 3-horse till the end, and that leaves Mr. Juan Rodriguez, who admittedly I'm not familiar with. That leaves him with the 7, the Long Walk, and that is where Mr. Pete's going to. You like this horse as maybe a sneaky price play?
Yes, I do, but before I get there, since you, as you have said, you've been in South Florida for 5 minutes, you're probably not familiar with what I'm getting ready to ask you, but just go with it. I'm not setting you up for anything.
Okay.
Are you a breakfast guy? Do you eat breakfast on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Do you like pancakes at all?
I do like pancakes.
Well, we're going to have to institute the first ever Jason Blewett Pete Aiello pancake wager. Those who are watching know all about the pancake wagers. We're just got a new guy here. But we're going to bet pancake breakfast, my horse against yours. I like the 7, the Long Walk. You like the 8, Social Roy.
I like the 8, Social Roy. You were certainly on with the pancake wager, and maybe as time goes on, because you and I are stuck together tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
This isn't a one-off. We'll keep score and then at the end.
Good. I love the sound of that. Maybe one lucky fan or 2 may join us one day for pancake breakfast. But I like the 8 Social Roy. Full disclaimer here, Last victory was New Year's Eve of 2015. That being said, this horse has time and time again, and most horse players are pretty opinionated on where other people should run their horses. I get that. I just think this 5-year-old by Pomeroy has just been way over his head in classes and those optional claimers that he's just not good enough, despite the fact he's run well here and there. I like the drop. It just makes too much sense for me in for the 12-5.
That's the good news. The bad news, and I'm not saying this to try to be mean or be controversial, this horse doesn't win when he's not on or near the lead, and I don't think, just strictly empirically speaking, he's third fastest away from there behind my top play, the Long Walk, and the 4 Tiggertown. That's a bad news scenario if you're chasing 2 horses that might be faster than you anyway.
Right.
Could be a problem. Let's take a look now at my late pick 5 ticket. I haven't released my horse yet, but we'll look at my late pick 5 ticket. Here in the first leg, I'll try to just stay alive. I like the 4 Tiggertown, the 6 More Applause, and the 7 the Long Walk. Those are the 3 contenders. We'll move now to race number 6. You can see here, and Jason, you can see what I wrote on my program there. It's absolutely impossible. If you can go all in this race, please do. I have no strong opinion. I'll use the 3 LaSalle, the 5 Gisnell at a price, the 7 2 Jacks Wild at a price, and the 8 Golden Point just because I have to. 7th race, you talked about it going on. The later races get easier. I agree with that. I'll go 2 deep, Epic Drama, the speed in here, and Crocodile Charlie, who is my top play in the race. Single comes in the 8th race. It's a 2-horse race. I'll go for the 2nd time in South Florida angle. It's an angle that's worked for me. 10-time winner Kingston Terrace under C.J. McMahon. And then in the final race, we're 3 deep. Sin Larar on the improve. Dominic coming from behind. And then I'll use the number 8 Spirit Love, Zayas and Sano, never to be overlooked. It's a $36 play. Much more confident in this ticket than I was in the early.
Fair enough. I hope you get there, and you and I view the favorite, the likely favorite in the nightcap, and God's Greatness in the same way. I think he is a shaky, short-priced horse, likely to be overbet. It's the old burden of success with Tyler Gaffleone, who, again, I just got here, and his riding is excellent, and he's the big dog and the lead dog, but his horses, race after race, are just routinely overbet.
Indeed they are. And I have to give the release here, the number 7, the Long Walk. Here's a horse that's been laid up since November and coming in from Mountaineer Park. I'm sure there's at least 2 or 3 wise guys screaming at the television, "Are you out of your mind? What are you doing?" And if it was 3 weeks ago, I would be one of those people. However, Juan Andres Rodriguez has been taking over training of horses that look just like this, and he's won not once, but twice with nice price horses doing it. And these horses aren't winning by a neck. They're not winning by a length. The last one that I can remember went 3/4 at sub 110 time and blew the doors off a nice field, Speed of the Speed. So this horse not only looks better than the one I'm referencing, this horse has experience over the local surface, 2 placings out of 3 tries when in the Idacernia shed row. I think this horse is faster than he looks on paper. I know, capital KNOW, that he's ready, and I'm going to go right gate to wire, beat Tiggertown to the lead, and foil your first pancake.
All right, I hate hearing that. The bet is on, and you missed the wedding, though, with those 2 bombs off the bench.
That is possible.
He missed the wedding.
Possible.
You know that old racetrack saying. We did have a replay at Tiggertown, but we're running out of time, my friend. This has been a fun show. We've got more replays to bring you, more Gulfstream spotlights. Race number 6 on the program. We stretch it out. Mile and a furlong on the turf here. This might be the first 9-furlong race I've seen since I got down here, and uncharted territory for quite a few horses in this $10,000 3-and-up claimer. It is not uncharted territory for the 8 Golden Point, who has been pretty sharp over his last handful of races, and that includes a victory back on January 27th, a race you called during the championship meet, and I thought one we would go back and look at this 5-year-old son of Point Given. I like that he was reclaimed, and again, another barn I'm not familiar with, Marat Sankal. This guy's got good numbers, second off the claim. Golden Point for me, and I saw you used him in your late pick 5.
It's nice to see the claim back angle on Golden Point, but that angle should have been used last time when he was just 4th. He's a tricky horse to ride, and he got a perfect trip in this particular race. This is the way he wants to be ridden, off cover and surging when it matters. Lately, he's had to come over the top of horses, work between horses, make long, prolonged drives. He doesn't want to do any of that. He's a tricky horse to ride, so for me, I tried to beat him.
All right, here's a quick pop here to the trade trainer who saw fit to jump back in and claim a Golden Point, who's 3 for 23. He's done good work second off the claim, batting above 30%, in the money close to 70% of the time with a positive ROI. Moving down towards the rail and out, what are you doing here in the 6th?
I have no opinion here, to be completely honest. I'm not going to say it any other way. I went with the number 3, LaSalle, holding his form well. He's making his 3rd start since coming in from the fairgrounds. Both of his first 2 outings were good. This was the horse that, to me, had the least amount of questions in a race that I just have no opinion on.
All right, Panici from post number 3 with trainer Leo Gabriel Jr. A number of the Midwest barns are certainly in effect today at Gulfstream Park. What do you say we wrap up the action, Pete, on the main track? Thursday 7th, the last dirt event will go at 7 furlongs. 3-year-old restricted, $50,000 starter allowance optional claimer. And I like the fact that you even though you used a pair in here, you're a big fan of the 2 Epic Drama.
I am. Where's the other speed in here?
There's no other speed, and you got Gaffleone, and this is a strategy that nearly worked last time out, March 24th, a race we will bring you when this horse was second best behind Chatham, who has since come back to finish second to Classic Rock in the Roar.
Now, I don't know, a 16th of a mile before we queued that replay up, Chatham was making this big sweeping move, and he caught the entire field off guard, not only Epic Drama, but the rest of the field. You can see that Saez is rousing Epic Drama inside and trying to rebid. He actually does make a little bit of ground up again, and he's holding his advantage over Vencedor. I thought it was a great run by Epic Drama, losing to a horse that's a lot better than he was regarded that particular afternoon. Right to the front, and there's nobody that can stay with him. I'm with you.
All right, fair enough. You got a number of horses in here on the comeback trail, like the 3 front-loaded, who did not show anything in his return on the turf. He's in for the $50,000 today. I used him in the late pick 5, one of 2 in the race for Jose Pinchin, and enlighten us, my friend, on the 5, Crocodile Charlie.
Crocodile Charlie lost to a very, very good racehorse last time out in Classic Rock. Chatham, who we were just talking about, ran second in that race. It was the Roar. He got thrown to the wolves, but his race against 25 maidens stacks up very well against this field. I'm worried about his lack of early speed, but then I can say that for everybody except Epic Drama. So I settled with Crocodile Charlie on the rebound, dropping off the stake.
And not to belabor the point, that May pace scenario, as far as that is concerned, may really play against the 6 Don't Come Knockin', who, to be blunt about it, this is hands down the easiest field he's facing since his days as a maiden claimer.
It is. I don't think he's on the right side of his form cycle. He's been freshened up since, and he's at a tactical disadvantage. Those things together, I'll try to beat him.
And it seems like trainer Angel Rodriguez, the last few cards, he's had a number of short-priced horses who just haven't gotten it done. 7th race for the 3-year-olds. Turf is where it's at for the late double. We've got 7 down, 2 to go, my friend. Deep stretch time on Gulfstream today. Field of 6 after scratches for 3 and up fillies or mares. And this other than $25,000 optional claimer. You called it a 2-horse race when talking about the late pick 5, and I would have to agree with you. You're in the corner of the 7-year-old, 10-time winner, Kingston Terrace.
For one reason only, and I touched on it briefly earlier, second time in South Florida. It's an angle that works year in and year out, whether it's coming from New Jersey, coming from Churchill, coming from Maryland. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. You need a race to acclimate to this humidity. Look at you, Big Daddy. You came in from New York, then you're already, worried about the heat. Exactly. But by July, you'll be a Floridian.
I hope so.
So it works the same way with the horses, and Kingston Terrace fired good last time out, losing to a horse who was expected to win, not quick enough to stay with her early. I think that she'll be in position for CJ and a lot better this time out. I like her.
All right, fair enough. I like what I've seen from CJ McMahon as well. Now, a quick little stat, and some may say, well, Ron Fouchot didn't claim this horse 2 back. This horse was actually claimed out of his barn by Neil Pessin. Not sure what went on behind the scenes, but here, second off the claim on the turf for just a world-class, shrewd as could be operation. Numbers are pretty average there with an ROI of $1.22. Now, let's get to My Sweet Dove, who I landed on top as Ralph Zadie. You talk about one of these barns who's just in fuego right now and white hot at the meet. He's 7 for his last 14 over the last 30 days at Gulfstream Park. And as far as that pace scratch, or I think potential pace scratch of the 7, it's easy to say My Sweet Dove gets the major assist in that department.
Yeah, and also the post is huge, too, because now she's the outside horse. You can see what the pace wants to do in front of her, too. And Zayas is a master at that. If he thinks he can cross over, he'll try. But what he won't do is get stuck 4 or 5 wide, which you can't do sprinting on this.
No doubt. It seems even in the route races, if you don't save any ground, you are finished. Very tricky, quirky course to ride. But a turf course that we've talked about the last few days seems to be very fair and even to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that, we had a race earlier at 1 1/8 miles. That's the race where the speed will not get carried if there is any sort of carrying of speed. Not going 9 furlongs. 7.5, 5/8, fine. But not when you get going longer. You got to put up or shut up.
You got to get the distance. It's the great equalizer as we, of course, bring down the curtain on the Thursday card here at Gulfstream Park. Race number 9, a field of 9 after scratches, and you can take out the 6 Wathnon, 3 and up, 12-5 maiden claimers, fast and furious with the 5 furlongs on the turf. Shaky favorite. Tyler sticks around to ride the nightcap Pete. He's on the 1 God's Greatness. This horse is coming out of yet another loss most recently on April 13th. And to be honest, looking at the short Comet getting to winner late, which kind of happened, and I get it, watching races is very subjective. I think this one's last effort looks better on paper than it did in actuality, where this horse chased and it was more or less a slow grind through the home stretch.
Well, I love that comment. I'm glad now there's at least 2 people that are on the broadcast team at Gulfstream Park that subscribe to the theory of phony form. That's what I call it anyway. I agree with you 120%, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of other times where we agree with that. The horse who won that race, though, fun, interesting tidbit, is a full brother to Pay Any Price, who's the track record holder at this 5 furlong distance at Gulfstream, and he'll be going in the Jim McKay tomorrow at Pimlico.
We wish him the best of luck. We'll be watching the Jim McKay and all the stakes. As far as race number 9, I know you got to get to the second set of changes. I think the 3 Dominic, his last race cutting back to 5 was a big step in the right direction. And even though you're way against the 1 God's Greatness, I respected him a little more than you. I think you got a horse who's just going to be overbet from the rail.
Yeah, I do. I don't like the rail at all for this horse because he's not fast enough, and it looks like it on form, but I'm telling you, he's not. He's not fast enough with some of the speed in here, including the 2 Sin Larar. He's not fast enough to hold his position. He'll get shuffled 5th. Now, he'll have inside position, which is good news, but he'll have to rally, and as we just showed, it's more of a grind it style than a kick on style. I'll try to beat him.
All right, on the front end, the man likes speed late in the card with Epic Drama and Sin Loar. Speaking of speed, changes are coming up, my friend, and this half hour with you on the air flew by pancakes, my friend. Race number 5, it's on. Check your Twitter. I'll be sending out a tweet to remind everybody. 5th race today at Gulfstream is must-watch TV.
Gotta love it.
All right, that'll do it for Gulfstream today. I'll be with you outside the walking ring throughout the program, and this man is coming up next with a reprise of Thursday's Scratches and Changes.